What is up, guys? So I just want to talk about padding and margins. They're one of the hardest things to explain and understand, and even I have some trouble understanding them. But what margins do is margins allow you to space out your content from other elements. And what padding does is that it increases the space inside of an element. And I'll show you right here. And I'm going to do P style, and for that test element, which I'll drag to the right, I'm going to set its background color to blue. And you can see here it's blue. But we can do some other things to modify it. Now, if we wanted to, we can do margin left 20 pixels, and what this would do is that it would make it 20 pixels from the left, and you can see that we transformed this entire element. And if we do margin right 20 pixels, it's not going to do anything because it's already more than 20 pixels to the right. It's already by default from the left. If you do margin top 0 pixels, it should be it's supposed to be from the top of the other element, but don't forget that there's a little bit more space here. Margin bottom 0 pixels. But let's see if we can see a difference if we do margin top 20 pixels. Now, margin top and margin bottom will just usually be affected by the top and bottom element. And if we did for first paragraph margin top 20 pixels, you can see here it's modified a little bit. So yeah, that's the point there. So margins are usually supposed to be used kind of from the page location, and you can actually modify both margin left, right, top, and bottom all together by doing margin 20 pixels, 25 pixels, and this will affect its margin from everywhere. So it's 25 pixels from the left, 25 pixels from the right, 25 pixels from the bottom, and 25 pixels to the top. Now, padding, you could see here that when you change this to padding, it's 25 pixels from the top, left, right, and bottom. It extends, and you can see that element is slightly changed. So if I do padding left 25 pixels, it kind of just stretched out the element, and it didn't really just stretch out the margin. So this does not change the location of the element, but it just changes the location of the content inside of the element. And if we do padding right 250 pixels, it's already more than 250 pixels. Padding top, and you can see here it's moved 250 pixels down to the top. So, and if we do bottom, it might be extended. So you can see here, and padding left 250 pixels, and you can see right there it's 250 pixels from there. And there is another thing I want to tell you about. It's not working for me right now. I was testing this out. It's margin auto. Now, margin auto, or the auto field, is supposed to center it, but it's not working for me. But if you do want to center it and auto is not working for you, try just using margin left equals 50%, and it will take 50% of the web page and center it like that. So that's something that's really cool. And I believe you can take width and you can actually modify the actual size of the element. Stuff might act weird, but you can see here you can also use the width field to change up the size of the element. So you can do that, but the background color just kind of represents the amount of space it's taking up. And if we do padding 50%, you can see here it takes up basically half the page. if we put this at the top, we might be able to do a comparison. Actually, what might be easier is padding left, 50%. You can see here, it's actually just taking up half of the page, and you can see it extends. So yeah, so that's the difference between margins and padding. Please just test this around in order to understand it. It's kind of confusing, but it's useful in the long run. So thank you.